Nobody kept the 88-pound black and tan Doberman. He was returned 3 times in 412 days, and not once for biting. He stared. Then somebody tied him to a water pipe behind a flower shop at 5 a.m. and drove away. And what that dog did at 3:40 a.m. in the nursery of a 4-month-old baby girl would prove that every person who ever wrote him off had been wrong from the very first day. Tess Marchetti found him on a Tuesday in March at 5:12 a.m. when she came to open the shop. She was 31 years old, 7 months pregnant, and she made wedding flowers for a living in Winter Park, Florida. Her hands smelled like eucalyptus and floral wire. Her husband, Wes, drove long-haul freight and was gone 5 days out of 7, so she opened the shop alone, always, at dawn. It was not empty that morning. A black and tan Doberman sat beside the pipe, a nylon leash tied to it with 2 knots. He was not barking, he was not straining. He sat perfectly upright, looking directly at her, and he did not blink. Taped above his head was an index card, 4 words in ballpoint pen. He stares. Don't look. Tess called animal control. The officer scanned him and read the screen twice before she said anything. His name is Rook, Palm Row Rescue. 3 times, adopted 3 times, returned 3 times. She scrolled. No bite, no aggression. Every family wrote the same thing. He watches you. The officer clipped a lead to his collar. Rook stood up. And then Rook did not move because he had turned his head and he was staring at Tess's stomach. He did not lunge, he did not whine. He looked at a spot 6 inches below her navel with an attention so complete that the officer stopped pulling and let the lead go slack. Tess had a delivery at 8 a.m. and a nursery that was still a room full of boxes. "Leave the leash," she said. "I see you're still here and haven't subscribed. After a dog like Rook, that stings a little. Tap subscribe. You'll want to see what he stares at." Bringing home 88 pounds of Doberman is not a quiet event. Rook knocked a bucket of ranunculus across the shop floor in the first 90 seconds, then lay down in the wet pedals and stared at the door until Tess laughed out loud. But he had rules, and Tess did not understand a single one of them yet. Rule 1. Rook stared at the kettle 20 seconds before it whistled, every time. He would rise, cross the kitchen, and fix on the spout while the water was still silent. Rule 2, and this one cost her money. From every arrangement Tess built, Rook stole exactly 1 white bloom. Never a rose, never a colored stem, only white. He carried it to his bed, laid it down, and lay beside it like a man visiting a grave. In 1 month, she lost 31 white anemones and never found one chewed. Ivy was born 5 weeks early on a Sunday in May. She weighed 4 pounds 11 ounces. She spent 9 days in a plastic box under a light, while Tess sat beside her and learned what it feels like to be allowed to touch only 2 fingers of your own child. They brought Ivy home on a Tuesday. Rook met her at the door, and from that moment, he would not let her sleep alone. Not once, not for 1 night. He lay under the bassinet with his spine against the leg of it. If Tess shut the nursery door, Rook did not scratch or cry or bark. He sat outside it and stared at the seam at the bottom until she opened it again. Wes said it was sweet. Tess's mother said it was something else. In August, at Ivy's baptism, Tess's sister lifted the 3-month-old from the bouncer. Rook stood up. He crossed 20 feet of living room in silence, stopped 3 feet away, and stared. He did not growl. He locked on and would not look away. Her sister screamed. Wes grabbed the collar. Somebody in the kitchen said loud enough for the whole house to hear that a dog like that should not be near an infant. Tess's mother put on her coat and said she would not come back to this house while that animal was in it. Then she left, and Tess stood in her own kitchen holding a plate of cake with 14 relatives watching her and a baby crying in the other room. She drove to Palm Row Rescue the next morning to give him back. Marisol Vega, who ran the place, listened without interrupting. Then she came back with a folder thicker than it should have been. Rook was not born a stray. At 14 months, he was in a service dog program in Ocala and he washed out. Marisol read the dismissal note out loud. Subject will not disengage from a fixed point once alerted. Non-compliant, unsuitable. Then she turned the page to the last line the trainer had written. For the record, he never once stared at nothing. Tess read that sentence 4 times. If you have ever been the only person who understood what an animal was telling you, you already know what she felt. She took Rook home. She stopped correcting him and started watching what he stared at. Over the next month, Rook stared at a forgotten candle on the mantle. He stared at the left rear tire of Wes's truck, and Wes found a roofing nail buried to the head. He never barked. He looked and waited. Ivy turned 4 months on a Wednesday. At 3:40 the next morning, Tess woke because something was wrong, and the wrongness was silence. Rook was not under the bassinet. He stood beside it, head down, staring at Ivy's left foot. Tess said his name. He did not move. She turned on the lamp. Ivy was asleep. Ivy was breathing. Her sock was on, white, exactly as at bedtime. Tess reached to move him, and Rook, who had never refused a hand on his collar, planted his feet and would not move. The same Doberman that 3 families gave back for staring, the same trainer in Ocala called non-compliant and unsuitable, the same Doberman that somebody tied to a water pipe at 5 a.m. with a note that said, "Don't look." Tess followed his eyes. She peeled off the sock. Ivy's second toe was swollen to twice the size of the others, dark purple at the tip, a groove cut all the way around. Wrapped 4 times, buried almost out of sight, was a single strand of Tess's own hair. They were at the hospital on Lakemont Avenue in 11 minutes. The doctor needed 10 seconds. "Hair tourniquet," she said. "Postpartum shedding, a loose strand in a sock, a foot that cannot say it hurts." She said they see it 5 or 6 times a year. 8 more hours and the toe would have been gone. Rook stared at Ivy's foot the entire time, and nobody asked him to stop. Marisol put the story on the Palm Row page. In 6 days, the rescue received 39 applications. 3 dogs who had waited over a year went home. Tess's mother came back in October. She did not apologize. She sat on the floor with Ivy, and Rook lay down 3 feet away and stared at them both, and after a while, she put her hand on his shoulder. Today, Rook is 6, Ivy is 3, and she checks her own socks before she puts them on. He still steals 1 white flower. He still stares at the kettle before it sings. He still sleeps under his girl. We call it fixation when an animal will not look away from the thing we cannot see. We call it non-compliant. We write it on a form and hand it to the next family until somebody ties him to a pipe at 5 a.m. with a card that said, "Don't look." Rook was never staring at nothing. Nobody was willing to look where he was looking. If you were thinking about adopting, read the whole file. The words somebody wrote about that animal came from somebody who ran out of patience. Learn first, prepare well, then let them do what they already know. So tell me, was Rook protecting Ivy that night, or had he been trying to warn somebody for 412 days while everybody looked away? Tell me in the comments, and if a dog the world gave up on walked into your life, say their name below.